This is the kind of history that is never taught in class, but as always, it favors the brave. We go behind the chronicled, documented and published events to uncover those moments that have changed the course of history. The moments that have shaped the country's political landscape as we know it today. In this program, we document reflections from some of the most powerful, influential and trusted aides to Kenya's #1. Welcome to the premiere episode of Behind Power. Fear and panic are probably the least expected vocabularies among seasoned and powerful civil servants, heavily guarded with VIP protection units. Looking behind to check their security situation might be likened to the biblical Lot's wife who turned into salt upon looking behind. But there is a first time for everything, and in this case, fear gripped a long-serving civil servant who has served in the Kenyatta, Moi, Kibaki and President Uhuru Kenyatta's administrations. Francis Kirimi Muthaura recounts the 2002 handover of power from President Moi's 24-year reign to the incoming Mwai Kibaki, an event that sent chills down his spine quite literally.
October 14, 2002 was a turning point in Kenya's history. On this day, a united opposition led by Mwai Kibaki finally teamed up with the breakaway faction of KANU led by Raila Odinga. Nothing was going to stop this political juggernaut that had taken the country by storm. And so, less than 3 months later, the crowds were back here to witness a historic event. For the first time in the country's history, the opposition had eclipsed the ruling party, elbowing it out of power with a resounding defeat. NAC had crushed President Moi's dream to propagate the KANU party regime. And after 24 years in power,
thank you.
President Daniel Arap Moi was handing over the instruments of power to the incoming President Mwai Kibaki at the historic Uhuru Park grounds. The country was flipping over a new page and the pulse of the nation was electric.
Mimi Mwai Kibaki naapa kwamba nitakuwa mwaminifu kwa Jamhuri ya Kenya na kuitumikia kwa moyo wangu wote kwa mujibu wa sheria ilivyowekwa. Ewe Mwenyezi Mungu nisaidie.
He has worked in all the regimes in the half-a-century-old nation, and he has seen the country's pendulum swing in every direction and in all seasons. But for Ambassador Francis Muthaura, the 2002 handover of power ceremony at Uhuru Park was like nothing he had ever seen in his long service to the nation.
That was really a frightening moment. The moment was really very tense, because the mass of people, I've never seen so many people. And they were charging, sometimes charging forward. But there was no serious incident. So things went on well, but it was disorganized. So it was very unfortunate.
Despite the December 30th, 2002 event being a historical phenomenon for the country, the occasion threw the seasoned civil servant into panic for the first time in his entire public service.
You know, for the first time in a public rally, I looked behind to check whether there was an escape route. I just looked behind to see. In the event there was so much stampede, how do I get out of here? Of course, it didn't reach there, but the fact that I thought of an escape route, it means there was really, the site was not very, very good. But eventually, they didn't go beyond a certain point, and things went on well.
Muthaura says the event, as historic as it might have been, exposed the country's underbelly, that is, politicians planning for a national event. He cites many loopholes in crowd control. The outgoing president would be demeaned right before the incoming government.
I was a permanent secretary. At that time, I was permanent secretary in the Ministry of Environment, Water and Natural Resources. And we went to witness the swearing in of the president. And the protocol there was really very, very confused. Because the incoming politicians did not respect the hand device of the civil servant. They ignored the civil servant. So they took the management of the protocol themselves. And so at that point, things became very, very confused. And there were other heads of state coming. President Moi came, and the crowds were charging. And they were not very, the crowd was not very, very kind. And some of them even tried to throw some mud to the president. But at that point, before the new president was sworn in, President Moi was still the president. So there was a lot of confusion.
But the euphoria that greeted the NAC government gradually faded as the administration got down to work. A political showdown over portfolio balance soon took center stage, clawing back on the public confidence the NAC administration enjoyed.
It continued that style.
Yeah.
It's the only style we work well.
Absolutely.
Kenya did the pace within Africa. Africa wataona examples.
Well, I wish we in Europe.
Actually, the NAC government was probably to be the best government in terms of the consensus which was there in the beginning. Everybody was excited, and for the first time there was no divide. Normally we end up by having some divide in the country. But the NAC coalition, the coalition government, unified.
But that uniformity would end at the level of ideas.
So what happened is that immediately after the cabinet was announced and the permanent secretaries were announced, there was really a serious problem. A serious problem in the sense that they felt that some groups felt that the number of permanent secretaries was skewed in favor of Mount Kenya. In fact, a lot of permanent secretaries came from Meru, not even Mount Kenya.
We take a short break, but when we return, acrimony, deep-seated suspicion and competing interests between President Kibaki's henchmen and Raila Odinga's lieutenants leads to the breakdown of a one-time formidable force that had assumed power.